Today is the last day of class, which is a little nerve-wracking. So we're gonna wrap up this world. We're gonna add some finishing touches. We're just gonna go around and see, what do you want to do before we publish this today?
I have a sheep that I was trying to set up with a script so that it would do its animation when it was triggered. I'd love to make a book and have like Baba Black Sheep written on it or something.
Now that I see people have animals, I want to finish the unicorn. When people get up to the beginning of that blue trail, the unicorn will go like it's going up the trail ahead of them, like it'll move and go up the trail and jump off.
Wonderful.
I think that would just be fun. And if I can make it make noise.
Yeah.
I was wondering if my sheep can jump out of my book.
So you want this page to spin open. Well, to do that, we need
Okay.
this to have an equal point to rotate around. So when we do rotation, it rotates around the center point. So what we can do is duplicate this sheet, move it over here so that it's parallel, and then rotate around the center of both once they're grouped together. So what I'm going to do is duplicate your book so we each have a copy. Open up the book and then go into the grouping. Now that you're inside the grouping, what we want to do is turn snapping on, and there's a brand new snapping tool. When you grab on the snap point right here for your page, so grab right there on the edge. Now you can align your page to be right on the edge. So what I'd recommend we do is maybe make this just a hair thicker. Now come to the edge with your duplicate tool, and on the green arrow, drag that green arrow out. There we go. Okay. What I want you to do is grab this green arrow here. Once you've grabbed that, bring your finger right here. So when you grab the arrow, drag it to this orange little dot here. There you go. Now let go. And now it has snapped it to this edge. We don't want this to be visible. Yep, so go open up the properties, and we're going to turn off visibility and collisions. And now we're going to group those two objects together. So now that we have them grouped, we now have a page and we have an axis to rotate on. So now we're going to write a quick script. So come down to your script gizmo. So let's go ahead and label this script Book Lakes. So if we go to our events tab, on the events tab, the first thing we're going to do is grab when trigger is entered by player. And we're also going to grab when trigger is exited by player. And then we're going to go to our variables tab, and we're going to create a new variable, and that's going to be a rotation. And that will be called cover rotation. We're going to create another variable, which will be another rotation, and this one's going to be called rotation by. So I'm calling it rot by. This one is how much we're going to rotate by, but we're not going to type that in just yet. Okay, so now what we want to do is look at our book. And if you look at the book, you'll notice it's on the red axis, and we need to rotate on the red axis. So you'll see when we rotate along the red axis, we get that page opening that we're looking for. So we want to rotate on that red axis. I'm aligning mine to be a little bit more accurate. So you'll see now my book is more heavily aligned. So now that you have it snapped on, the first thing you're going to need to note is that these axes are color coded. So red is your x-axis, green is your y-axis, blue is your z-axis, x, y, z. So red, green, blue, x, y, z. Follows the RGB format. We know that we need to adjust the rotation on the x-axis. So if we go into our rotate by, the first number is our x number. And we want to open this, we want to go a little over 180. There's 180 plus 45. We want to open it up to 215. And so what we're going to do, go to your values tab. Now grab set to from the values tab. And when world is started, we are going to grab the cover rotation. We're going to set cover rotation, if you go to your operators tab, to the rotation of object self. And we'll go back to the values tab to grab self. Okay, so when world is starting, we're setting the cover rotation to the rotation of self. But now that I realize that we're running on a trigger object, not on the book itself, so we need to go to our variables tab and create a new object variable named book cover. And then we're going to drag that book cover object onto the word self. Add a rotation to this book cover. So if we go to the motion tab and click rotate to, then we can grab our book cover, drag that into the word self, and we'll also go to our operators tab, grab the plus symbol, So now what we can see happening here is when the event trigger enter with players received, we're rotating to the cover rotation plus the rotation by on the book cover. And then when we exit, we're going to rotate to the original rotation on the book cover. So now what I want to do is we're going to grab our book. So select your entire book and drag it into your area. And what I want you to do is make it nice and big. If I walk into my book, you'll notice it opens up. And now I can jump in. And then if I leave my book, you'll see it closes. And so then go into create a new trigger from a gizmo. Make it so that this trigger fills up this area, but also covers a little bit further than that. Players trigger it before they enter. Go into this trigger, properties, and you're going to attach your script, the A Girl book cover script. Perfect. And now open up the properties panel for the book cover. So that's our double wide book cover down here. And then grab this reference cable and pull that into the book cover. And now you have it set up. But before we can finish this, we need to fix one issue that I created earlier on accident. So if you come into your script here and then go to your variables tab, create a number named time, and I set mine to be 5, so 5 seconds. And this is going to be how long is it going to take to open. Under your motion tab, grab rotate to over time. So it's the one at the bottom. You're going to grab rotate to over time and drag that on top of your previous rotate to, and then do that for both of them. You just need to do that one more time. So bring another one there. There we go. Trick is that you can use the duplicate tool inside of scripts by grabbing and then edging over to the right. You can duplicate whatever you're holding on to inside of your script. Now what you need to do is grab time and bring time into this number 1 value, and then do that for down here as well. What you want to do is grab the book cover and bring that to self from both of these. Basically, we're going to move the variables from here up to here. So grab book cover onto self, book cover from here onto self. So now what you want to do is grab this one right here. See where it says cover rotation? Grab that and drag it onto rotation here. There you go. And now we can delete this bottom one. We don't need that anymore. And now what you're going to do is the same thing, but you're going to grab it to the left of cover rotation. It'll hover the entire plus symbol, and you can drag that onto rotation. Good job. Now you can delete that one. And now we have it rotating over time. So now if we come down here to your book should work. Yeah, so look at, you've got your book opening. So now all you need to do is connect your sheep to it. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into our variables tab. We're going to create a couple new object variables. So the first object we need is our sheep, and the next object we need our audio. There we go. So now we have our sheep and our audio. What's going to happen is when enter the trigger, the sheep is going to jump out of the book and the audio is going to say bah bah black sheep. Then we go to our actions tab. We are going to play animation, and then we're going to stop animation when the player exits the trigger, and we're going to play sound, and we're going to stop sound when they exit. And those are going to be our sheep and audio. There we go. So now, if we come down here to our trigger, we just need only connect in our 2 new objects, the sheep and the audio. So we'll come to our sheep here, open up the properties panel, and we're going to grab the reference cable, and we're going to put that onto the sheep. We're going to turn off play on start so it only runs when we trigger it. I'm going to record an animation that has the sheep jumping out of the book. So here, I'm going to hit record, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to have him stop. And now, turn the speed down to like 0.8. We'll run it a little bit slower. Then we just need that audio block you recorded earlier, which I believe is this one. And then if we go into
the sheep has
the audio,
sound and animation also in it.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. So what we'll do is connect this in as our sound. And then instead of using the one that you recorded for Ba Ba Black Sheep, let's actually use this one. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit record. But before I do that, I'll hit duplicate. Ba, 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 black sheep, have you any wool? And then we'll stop that. Then we'll do that. Then hit play.
Ba, 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 black sheep, have you any wool?
So that's slowed down so you sound deeper.
Yep.
Cool.
There we go. So now we're going to put that there and this 25 rather than 10. And so now if we enter this, it should work. So let's go ahead and come down. Now if I walk into the book, but then when you leave, the book closes.
You were trying to tell me how to go into preview mode.
So press and hold.
Without having to start at the
let
beginning.
go. Like press and hold straight down to move. And then you'll see a line appear.
Oh, right there. That'll put me there. Yep. And then let go.
Yep. A trick that I've
Can
seen
you add
used
like
a
an
lot
open mouth?
is people will use like a text object. So you could go in here and type in like a capital C and then utilize this as a mouth.
Oh.
Something like that.
Perfect.
And then you can color text
Yep.
too.
I want to put little stars right here. And then when they trigger that and this starts to move, the stars should sparkle off.
So what you'll do is go into your unicorn, go back inside of it,
Okay.
and then grab the
Okay.
particle FX.
Cool.
And you'll want to grab Sparkles AOE. And I would just put that like right there. So that way it's just kind of always letting off particles. And then put looping on. And then maybe even shrink it down a little bit so it's not super intense. And then do something like that.
Cool. So I'll come back later and put a title on the book. And
Oh, we should do that.
Very cool.
Let's do that real quick. You want to go into this cover. So open up the properties here. And if you go into the book itself, so hit that zoom into button right here at the top. Now that you're zoomed into the book, create a text object by going to your gizmos tab and pull out the text. And that will leave it inside of here so it rotates fluidly with your book. So now you can add a cover. Ah, very nice. And a cool trick, you can use the new snapping tools. And if you go to the snap and you grab that back orange button, you can align it to your book, only to the center point. But then once it's aligned, you can now shift it by using your green arrow and then use your blue arrow to get it really close. And then as soon as you have it right where you want it, now it'll look like an actual cover for the book.
I just think this is amazing. It's like if you ever were a graphic artist, it's just gone like 10 million times more
Yeah.
interesting.
So the only thing you need to do here is select these two objects and bring them into your book. Into your object, and then let go, and then back out of it. They're now attached to the cover of the book. So now if I come in here as a player, you'll see that the book now opens.
Is there any way I can grab my book from this world and take it to another world?
Yeah, it's called Importing World. Open up your menu on your left hand, and we're going to go into the Create tab, and I want you to create a new world and use a blank world. All right, Agril, so if you go to your menu, now that you're in the empty world, so go to the Create tab, click the I button next to Beginner Class. So at the top right, there's 3 dots, then you're gonna hit Import World, and that will bring everything we created here into your world. Well, I just want to say thank you guys so much for coming to class and learning over the last 4 weeks. It's been an incredible month. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask.
You
That's
lost this
why-
person. I found this
Thank
person.
you.
I'm returning this person.
Hey,
What's going on,
Zerka.
Spastic?
Welcome back.
Yeah,
Hey.
the
What's
last
going
Yeah,
on?
no, it's
Doing well. How are you?
It's a burqa. It's a Russian name.
Good.
So
Thanks for coming
Oh,
and
really
checking us
good.
out. Yeah, let's take a little wander through the forest.
I love it.
if you stand in the right place, it looks like it's coming after you.
Following.
Ba, 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 ba,
Oh, wow, look at that. He came right out of the book just like I dreamed. Oh,
Yeah.
you're picking the fruit. Forgot about that.
Yeah, that was from day
Pickable
one.
fruit. And this is like a splash fest. Wonderful.
Super chill with that and just
Black
Oh.
sheep, have
yeah,
you
you'll,
any
you'll
wool?
get credit.
Who moved a tree?
How'd
you do that?
And I didn't modify, or even
Hey, girl.
Left all the fruit.
Like Spastic's idea.
I took one of your
very
trees.
Is it?
the new controllers
I
I'm
got a
working on.
pickable tree.
I thought I could
And
pick
it
the
leaves
fruit.
the fruit.
That's hilarious.
You got the cat?
Oh, that is great.
Whoop. Whoop.
Can you pet it? I guess you can't reach down there.
If you try really hard, maybe. Nope.
Yeah, I'm like,
Your horse
Okay.
turned out great.
thank you. Oh, yeah, it looks like she almost. Oh,
Nice! I
almost.
did
Wait a
it!
minute. Oh,
Yeah!
you did it. Oh, you injured my horse. Now it can't move. You're too heavy.
You know what I like too? When you get here and you have the confetti, it's like celebrating that you completed the course.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's a surprise, like you didn't realize this was the
Yeah.
end. Hey, Artface.
Hey there.
Hey, man.
Oh, there's walls everywhere.
Yes, there is.
Mine?
I mean, hey.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
The secret
I
tree.
can't pick up the dog, but you can pick up a tree. I'm so disappointed in you.
It's a beginner class.
Hey,
Give me that. Give me that. Give me that.
hey. You're barking up the wrong tree with that dog. Oculus, come here. I gotta tell you this story. This is highly important. This is probably the most important thing I'm gonna tell you today. Two drinks. After 2 drinks, the one bassist looks at his watch and he says, "We got to get back, man. Our part's coming up." And the other one looks at the other guy and he says, "No, don't worry." Do you know this one? Yeah. So he says,
So good.
He has no idea.
he says, "Don't worry."
Spastic, look
He says,
around.
"Don't worry. Before we split, I'll put the tree on me." Okay, you're funny. Okay. I was like, "What is it?" Okay. So then the there. Do I look good now?
I want to unlearn that one.
Have a good one. I'm gonna.
I was so amazed that when people walk through, even though someone already walked through a minute ago, they get to experience most of the same stuff.
Yeah.
Although the trees are tipped over, my tree was tipped over, and the fruit was all floating in the air. But other than that, everybody gets to experience all the cool stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome! Clap, 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 clap.
Yes.
Yes, great job, everyone.
I actually
Yeah.
hit my.
There we go.
Yes, we'll do high fives. High fives are safe.
High five. You just
I
gotta
think this
love it.
room, it just feels very comfortable. Maybe it's just because of the work that we've done in here, but just from what
Yeah.
we've done, it just feels comfortable in here. You can sit somewhere and talk and still just
Yeah.
feel comfortable.
Right.
is-
Neat.
Thanks for visiting.
Well, I'm going to head out. I love this class. It was fantastic.
Thank you for being a part of it. Really appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye.